Hi, this is Dustin from August Burns Red, and you're listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is your host, Chris. I have a returning guest on the show. I have Dustin of August Burns Red. What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you?
Pretty pumped right now. You guys have a lot going on. You have a live stream. You guys put out a brand new EP. You guys re-recorded everything. It's really excited to talk to you about everything that you're doing to keep busy during this, downtime.
Yeah, I think it's very important to stay busy, and we sure have stayed that way, haven't we? Yeah, May 22nd, we're doing the live stream for the 10-year anniversary of Leveler, which is the day after the album drops. Redrops, how's that sound? Because it is re-recorded. It's coming out again.
Yeah, and I like the little promo video you did on Instagram as well. But for listeners right now who haven't seen that, can you explain why you guys did this?
You mean like the re-record of the album? Or
Yeah,
of course. Really, it wouldn't have happened had COVID not happened, because in a normal, year, we're touring every year. We've never had this much time off the road in our entire career of being in a band, and so the question was, okay, well, Leveler turns 10 in 2021. So how can we celebrate that if we're not going to be able to tour? So the idea of re-recording the album came out. I think that, like I said, if COVID hadn't happened, then this wouldn't have come to, because we would have just done like an anniversary tour, just like we had done for Messengers and Constellations. And so that's the reason that's where the idea came from.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of fans are, torn about this too, because, a lot of people don't want you to touch the product, but it's like you're having both out there and like a different feel on it. So I think it's actually really cool that you guys went ahead and did this, and it does require a lot of work, right?
Yeah, it does require a lot of work. The songs certainly aren't as challenging, as our modern stuff. I feel like back then our songs were smaller ideas maybe, and also just like, I don't know, they're still fast, but like there's something about some of the new stuff on Guardians. It's just really hard to chug that fast and to play the feet really tight. It's just like a little bit easier to go back then to 10 years ago and play the stuff on Leveler. But really, it's just like, for me personally, I'm super excited. It is our best sounding album, and I feel like every band says that when you have a new album out. You're always like, this is our best album, or this is our best sounding album. I personally don't say that every time. My favorite album of ours falls somewhere in the middle of the catalog, but it certainly sounds better. Like, technologies have grown so much, especially in the studio. You can make a really good product with a lot less money these days than you could back in those days, 10 years and beyond. And so it's just really nice to like refresh it. We're better musicians now, so we can do some sicker guitar solos, kind of make it more like a modern ABR album, and also have more of a modern sound where everything is heard really well. And of course, everybody, if you fell in love with Leveler, and that's what got you into the band, or that record means a lot to you, I understand, not getting on board for the re-record, but really just give it a listen. And, we're not trying to replace Leveler. We're just trying to modernize it and make it sound better.
There's something that you said before, too, where you compared this album, Guardians, to Leveler, and you said it was a little more intricate and harder to play the stuff on Guardians, and that's something I picked up as well. And I was kind of wondering, when you guys write your new record, are you guys going to maybe go back to that approach after, re-recording Leveler? Maybe you guys, inspired by, the I wouldn't say them, simpler riffs or anything like that, but, not being as intricate as Guardians?
I don't know. I don't really sit down with an idea to say, I'm going to write something that was like a certain time period or something that sounded like it would be on Leveler. Really, I just sit down and let the ideas grow from their beginning origins, and where they go, I don't know until I get there and sort of mine the riff like you mine Bitcoin, maybe. It's a little different process, but yeah, something like that. So yeah, I never really sit down. Maybe certain songs you sit down. I remember JB sitting down to talk about Leveler, sitting down with the intention to write the song on that record called Carpe Diem. He sat down with the intention to write a song like Carpe Diem, and it kind of came out like that. But now that Carpe Diem's done, I would never sit down and say, I'm going to write something like Carpe Diem. So really it's just about being in the moment and sitting down and mining riffs.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's just like I know a band like Korn when they did their self-titled album like live and they toured it and did everything like that. Afterwards, when they went to the studio to record the new album, they were kind of inspired by that old sound because they just spent like a whole leg of a tour playing it, and it kind of just came out organically. So, like after doing the stream too, like, do you ever think that might happen at all?
Yeah, I guess it could happen. You know, I'm not going to say no to that, but I feel like it would be weird to sit down and write a song that would belong on Leveler. You know, I feel like that's kind of done, and it's we've definitely. I like to think that we've grown since then. I understand that some people, like, I see people talking online like, why can't metalcore sound like it did 10 years ago, 12 years ago? You know, stuff like that. And it's like, guys, if it did sound like that, it wouldn't be popular still, or it wouldn't be. Things need to evolve, right? Like. Your car that you drive every day, you don't want the same car 20 years from now. You want it to evolve and get better and change, and you want something new. Maybe not everybody, but I think that there's definitely always room to grow. And if I look through our catalog, I hear like, you know, different sounds, different themes. That's one of my biggest things. That's what I love is the theme of an album. What do I get from an album? How does it make me feel as a complete unit, the whole catalog of songs on the album? So, I don't know. It's interesting to think about it now. I've lost where I was going with that, but
it's all good, man. I mean, as a band, you guys definitely have grown just listening at your whole catalog, and then especially with this brand new Guardian Session EP you guys put out. I remember when you guys played one of the streams, you had the Chop Suey cover going right before, and like me and my friends were just like, you know, texting each other like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" Then you did the Westworld theme too, you know, like a lot of really cool stuff on there. And you guys also did, you also did a clean vocal on Icarus. Very cool things. What made you guys like? How'd you guys get down to those covers? How'd you guys write those melodies? How did it all work?
Yeah, so the covers came from JP started Westworld. The cover for Westworld, I want to say. Somewhere around Phantom Anthem, maybe after Phantom Anthem, but somewhere around there. And that's an elaborate song with some excellent composition. I forget the original composer, but he started that and just kind of let it sit. And I think it might have been the first thing he finished once the pandemic set in just over a year ago. I think he went back to it because he already had so much to it. So, and the origin of that is that, I don't know if Matt likes it. I don't know if Jake watched it either, but I know Brent, JB, and myself all love Westworld, and the music is incredible.
It's so good
on that show. So that was the inspiration for that one. I'm super happy with how that turned out. And then the Chop Suey cover, like you had mentioned, we debuted it before Christmas Burns Red. And that's a song that I want to say we've been using Chop Suey in our like pre-show playlist before we go on stage. Not 10 years, but getting close to it. You know, we've always played that song. It gets people hyped. And it's like at this point, if you've been to an ABR show before, then you almost expect it. And so we thought, I forget whose idea it was, but we were like, it'd be really cool to play our cover of Chop Suey just before we start performing for Christmas Burns Red, because everybody expects that song, right? And so that's how we debut it. And so that was the idea behind that, was that we play that song before we play every night to get the crowd hyped, and we decided to cover it for that reason. And it was super fun to do. And then the other songs on that Guardian Sessions EP, they were Standing in the Storm and Icarus. You'd mentioned the clean singing in Icarus. And those two songs were songs that we were proud of and happy with, but ultimately they didn't really fit I talked earlier about themes of a record. And Guardians to me has this really dark, heavy theme, and Icarus does not, and Standing in the Storm does not fit that theme. I mean, Icarus might be the only song that's like fully major from that session. So Icarus and Standing in the Storm didn't make the record for that reason. You know, we had enough material already. And the clean singing part was just like, I wrote Icarus musically, and I remember Jake got to that part in the song to do vocals for, and he was like, what do I do with this? And JB had joked to me, I have a side project, this solo project called Best Case Scenario. I did an album from about years ago. And JP was like, this sounds like a best case scenario part. And I told him, I'm like, well, dude, you told me not to question anything I write, because like my previous writing, like for Phantom Anthem and stuff like that, it was just so technical that JP was like, dude, I would love you to play guitar live, but like we can't play your songs live because it's just too tech. Can you like write a, like stop questioning your stuff and just like write some cool like hooks? And so I was like, that's where that hook came from, dude. And then we knew that song wasn't going to make the record before it was done, just because it stood out like a sore thumb to all the other tracks on the record. And so I asked Jake. Jake had laid down singing. I asked him, hey, dude, like this sounds like best case scenario. I wrote it. It kind of sounds like that. Do you mind if I sing on it? And he was like, sure, dude, go ahead. So that's why I swapped out his vocals for mine and sang on it.
That's awesome, dude. A best case scenario for anyone. Check it out. I think you get it on Bandcamp, right?
Yeah, Bandcamp, and it is up on Spotify, and it should be up on Apple Music too, but it is up on Bandcamp as well.
Nice, nice. So, well, with you working with him on vocal melodies, do you have any? Do you guys going to be doing more vocal work in the future? Do you think that you're going to be doing more background vocals, but like more sharing kind of thing? How do you think you're going to pursue that?
Yeah. So as far as like singing goes, I think there's like definitely a limit that I'm comfortable with doing, even if it's Jake or myself. You know, we always try to walk a fine line on that, because if we did become this band that did this verse chorus thing and more structured songs with like singing choruses, that's too far different. You know, we talked earlier about like the evolution of the band and how Leveler sounds as opposed to how Guardian sounds. That's one thing we have in common. Yeah, there's like more raspy singing parts, not like full-blown clean singing. And it's like we always go case by case with that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, maybe some stuff gets taken out, and we always try to like be true to our fans and not throw something, you know, to them like a curveball that's going to be like, ugh, I wish they didn't sing. So we'll approach that as it presents itself. But I'm not really in the, like people ask me, Icarus, it's a single, are you going to write new stuff like that? I'm like, no, I'm not. That's not what I want. I want heavy stuff for this band. I want to write like dark, heavy stuff. That's what I enjoy writing. That's what our fans seem to enjoy. That's what goes over well live. But as far as like screaming back and forth, yeah, Jake and I always trade in the studio, and he's like cooler than ever before with like leaving parts for me and just putting notes on, have Dustin try screaming this part, or have Dustin pitch sing this or whatever. So we're always going to go back and forth in the studio with vocal stuff, just not for like the full-blown clean singing stuff.
For anyone tuning in right now, you're listening to 90.3 WMSC over Montclair. Your host, Chris. Special guest, Dustin of August Burns Red on the line. So we have a couple fan questions for you. The first one up is, it was actually about how you work on your vocal composition and all that, and also more side projects. Do you think that you're going to be following up on your side project at all, or maybe making something new or anything like that?
Yeah, I guess I've been hitting for a while that I was going to, and I really want to do a follow-up on it, whether it's a couple songs or an EP or a full length, I don't know. So right now I'm kind of really at the early stages for working on stuff with that. But, you know, ABR has my main focus, and it's my primary focus. So I feel like if we were touring, then I could focus more on writing best case scenario stuff. But I will do stuff in the future. It's just I'm unsure of when that's going to be.
Of course, yeah, no, I get you, man. It's your main baby. It's like, Slipknot and Corey Taylor with, like, Stone Sour and all his other projects and his solo record, you just have to find time for it.
Absolutely. But I love doing it, and I will get to
it. Question number 2. So do you guys consider yourself a faith-based band? August Burns Red has been one of the top heard bands in Christian metal in the community. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so some of our guys in the band are Christian. And I think when we were with Solid State, it was kind of, it was known that we were a Christian band. But right now, we don't label the band as a Christian band because we don't want to alienate any fans. It's the same thing with like writing lyrics. We don't want to write super, like, I don't want to say Christian lyrics, because all of our lyrics have a positivity to it, right? If it's negative, it has to end on a positive note because we're positive dudes. So that's important to us. That's the number one thing that's important, is being positive and, not alienating somebody who might not be Christian. But faith is important to a couple of the guys in the band for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's some bands too. I won't name them, but they actually got annoyed when they were labeled as a Christian band, and there's some bands who kind of like take pride in that. So you guys are just, you guys are just taking it easy, right? You're not trying to look for labels. You're just trying to be what you guys are, August Burns Red.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to label ourselves anything. When people go, when we say we're a metal band, they go, well, you're a metalcore band. And it's like, okay, well, if that's how you label us, sure. you know? So, or if you say, well, you're a Christian metal band. Okay, well, I see why you could say that, but we don't have that label. It's up for interpretation, but there are dudes, like I said, who have faith in the band for sure.
Oh, dude, I also just realized too, it's your birthday, right?
It is my birthday.
Yeah, dude, happy birthday. Thank you. Dude, you're taking time in your birthday to talk to me. That's pretty, I'm honored.
Of course, no, thanks. Thanks for having me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Birthday's just another day to me.
So I have a nice little segment on the show called the Random Silly Question segment. I'm not sure if you remember it from last time, but I got brand new questions for you. You ready for this?
Sounds good.
All right, question number 1. What specific moment made you feel old?
Losing my hair. How's that sound?
Oh, yeah, okay. What age did you start losing your hair?
Oh my, probably, I can remember being like 23 and like having long hair and going, Mom, check this out, and like shaking my head, and there's like a pile of hair on the table. I'm like, look, I'm balding. And she's like, yep, you are.
Man.
But that was like 23. So I didn't have to shave my head until 30, I think. So
Okay.
it took
cool.
a while.
Yeah, I'm at 28 now, and I can see the sides in my head. You know, when it goes like up on the sides, and you keep
That's
the
what
middle.
I had.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's sad it's getting there, but yeah, that kind of makes me feel old as well. Question number 2. This one's kind of a tough one. If you had a third ear, where would you put it?
Wow. That's a great question. I really got to think about that because I guess I'd put it at the back of my head. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. More as a joke, though. I would say I put it behind like my hair, my head, because I could hear people talking behind my back.
Oh, that's a good joke. Actually, that's great.
It's corny, but that's what I came up with.
It works.
Question number 3. What's the best way to eat a potato?
Mashed.
There we go. I like how you answered with like the type of potato, like sweet potato, mashed potato, whatever. Some people are like whole, like in my mouth. I'm like, I'll leave it up to like
mashed potato.
Yeah,
or sweet potato, or sweet mash. I'm good with that too.
Those are my favorite. Yeah, sometimes I mash the sweet potato as well, but yeah, mashed potatoes is where it's at. All right,
Absolutely.
so that was the random silly question segment. Before I let you go, what's the latest on new music? I know you guys worked on like re-recording everything, but fans always want something new.
Yeah, no plans yet for getting in the studio or anything, but all I can say is that JB and I are, well, not constantly writing, but if we have downtime, that's what we're focusing on. So we don't want to get back to touring and then have that time where it's time to get in the studio and not have any songs ready. So we've been writing since we got home from the pandemic and last year, and we're just going to keep doing that. And like I said, no plans yet, but always writing.
Yeah, there's bands that like Baroness said they had something done almost 6 months ago, and now they probably have like another album out too. Do you guys have enough for like 2 records or something like that, or no?
No, not yet. But as soon as we got back from the Killswitch tour after it was postponed in March, I sat down and finished the first song that I had started writing. So it was like, honestly, it came like straight in the door, and I was like, all right, well, that was, to think about that time too, it was a crazy time, right? So it was like, went to the grocery store, got everything I needed that I could get. Now I can't leave my doors, And so it's like, cool, I'm going to write. And I finished the song in about a week as soon as we got back. So yeah, we don't have enough for like any release right now, but we do have some songs in the wings, and we'll get to them in the future for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And speaking about that Killswitch Engage tour, did you guys repost new dates, anything, reschedule it? What's up with that?
No, that's still, we're still working with Killswitch to figure out what's going to happen with that. I really hope we can get that figured out soon, because we really want to get back on tour, and we want that tour to be the one, but still no plans with dates announced yet. But I think that with things trending in the right direction that hopefully we'll be able to do it, or at least tour in some capacity this fall. But everything seems to be looking like we're trending in the right direction. So I choose to be optimistic here with the idea that we're going to hopefully be able to play shows sooner than later.
Hell yeah, man. We can't wait. I know a lot of us are, because I think we still actually have our tickets. I mean, I have to look back at my Live Nation account, Ticketmaster account, see how many tickets I still have, because I didn't get refunds for most of them unless they like forced us to get them, you know?
Definitely. I know that you could get refunds at any time. If anybody listening, has been like, oh, I've been waiting long enough, I want to get a refund. I totally understand. That is an option to get a refund for your ticket, but we are going to honor those tickets as well whenever we can do this tour and do it safely. So it's just tough to kill switch, and we'll work with them, and we'll do it whenever they see best fit.
Well, one more time, I'm going to drop the 10th anniversary. Leveler comes out May 21st. Limited edition. I love it, man. I'm so excited. You guys had the vinyl too, and I think Will Putney actually helped master the album too, right?
He did. He mastered the vinyl. We had it mastered separately. Yeah,
that is sick, dude. He's like one of my favorite producers. I love that you guys got him.
He's great, man.
Awesome.
Never met him before, but I love his work. So super excited to have him involved, even though it's that small capacity right there. But he's awesome.
Wow. And where can fans find the stream? Where's the best way to go to your website?
Yeah, so you could go to ABR, let's say this right, abrleveler.com or augustburnsredtourmerch.com. There's a couple different dates, but ABR Leveler, augustburnsredtourmerch.com essentially takes you to the same place, and you can look at like bundles and vinyl and get a digital ticket for the streaming event, which is on May 22nd.
Awesome, man. This is a pleasure. And, dude, happy birthday again, and thank you for talking to me. Dustin, this has been great.
Absolutely, Chris. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. You're always welcome back. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, man. You too.